Hello. Today I'm going to follow up on my cryptocurrency savings account. I've got a lot of tabs open here because it's going to take all of these tabs to do this follow-up. And unfortunately, I am pushing my tablet to its limits, so things are going to be sluggish in trying to move. So rather than trying to move the screen around too much, I've set everything up ahead of time to try to make it easy. You can see here my savings account coins, both long and short, and what I've made for today so far. Not bad. Thursday, of course, or what now many are calling Black Thursday, well, it did end well for a lot of people. And I don't know too many that didn't come out of this without some losses. And the irony of it is I just gained back everything the day before that I lost on February 21st from Dash collapsing. That was 182. So 113 shouldn't be too difficult to reclaim. But let's go and talk about Thursday. As I said, I'm pushing everything to the limits here, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get things loaded. Okay, this is one of my little secret gems that I use to evaluate coins. The lowest point of a coin, the highest point of a coin, and this uses a 5,000 candlestick time frame to evaluate this with. Now, lowest price was here, and this looks to be in the 30-ish range. Up here is in the 180-ish range. So we have a 180 to 30 range crash. Now this is to the life of the coin. It's 180 USDT. I think it's about 187 actually. All the way down to around 30, 35 USDT. Now, Thursday's crash shattered a lot of investing theory that was held to be true. And it's required a lot of rethinking on different levels. Some coins, like Link, had their entire volume liquidated, gone. If you were on the short side of that coin, you made a good profit. If you are on the long side of that coin, you lost everything. Well, that's what the cryptocurrency savings account tries to help protect you against. There are no guarantees, of course, but it does do well comparatively to other situations. Now, given Thursday's crash, it's reasonable to speculate that this now has the risk of a money market account. It's still not bad, but again, Thursday's crash really changed a lot of the way of thinking in terms of how we do things. It also highlighted some problems within the markets themselves and how they calculate risks. And I'm going to go through some of that now. Let's start with the long bot. This makes profits when the asset goes up. So when it goes up and then retraces, it takes a profit. Simple, straightforward, easy to figure out. What makes it very easy is the bottom is zero. So you know when it's gone to zero, you've lost everything. That's not something you want. But what is important is this number here is not correct. This is not what you need to have for this bot to run and not be liquidated. You need to actually take your base order, your safety order, and your maximum safety orders. So, my maximum safety orders times my safety order value. That's 100 USDT. Now add your base order. The budget for this bot alone is 101 USDT. Make sure you have it. Make sure it is available. Do not overestimate the risks of being liquidated if you take the risks of over-extenuating your budget. Don't do it. If you only have a limited amount of funds to spend, adjust it appropriately. For example, changing this to 50 and changing this to 2. Okay, as you see, it only does 50% of the volume. So you're going to have to play around with that. Because even though it says 50%, 50 times 2 is 100. So again, play with your numbers. Make sure you get your budget covered properly. Make sure you have those numbers concise. You should try to cover 100% of the volume of the coin as much as you can. Black Thursday demonstrated beyond all reasonable doubt, coins can and do collapse. This applies to the crypto market, the stock market, Forex, bonds, all of it. Don't over-extenuate your budget. So, figure 100 USDT per single bot. Now, let's go to the short bot, because that's a little more difficult. See, the long bot has a top, that's your buying price, and a bottom, 0, absolute. There's no variances between that. You can figure out a scale to cover 100% of your volume very easily. The short bot is a little more difficult because it makes its profit when the price goes down. But there's no way of knowing how far up the price is going to climb. For example, let's go back to the price channel chart. You see here, we had a rally that took the price from roughly around $60 to about $150. Now that's overextenuating your budget. Something to be aware of. Look at the highest price, and you can find that on CoinMarketCap. As you can see here, I've already loaded the site. I've also brought up Dash. Well, it's supposed to have brought up Dash, so we wait for it to load. Or we go down to the 21st position. There we go. We'll just load it the hard way. Okay, it's still loading. Alright, well, while that's loading, let's go back to Trading View. And look at the chart. If it loads. Things are really sluggish here. Okay, so we'll use this. See right here, the high point was about 140. Here the high point is about 180. I'm going to round it up to 200. So right now the price is about 46. So in order to cover the entire possible range that this coin could fluctuate, I should have a price variance of at least 200% volume for my short bot. Easiest way to accomplish that, one safety order every 2%. And I have now covered 200% volume. If the volume increases by 3%, so forth. So always think about that with your budgets. Always plan for the highest possible amount you want. So here I have 200% of my volume covered. So current price of $45, $46, 200% puts me above where I need to be for the maximum possible range that this coin has a history of going. So be sure you think about that and stay focused with your budget. You need the amount per each bot. So in my case, both bots are going to require 101 USDT each. As you can see, I'm a little shy of that, so I'm going to make up the differences in a short bot by raising the DCA. So if I raise the DCA, I lower the amount I need to achieve my volume. That gives me my hedging effect. Now I know what I'm doing on this, so I can play with the numbers a little bit, but if you're not sure of the details, don't play with the numbers. Stay with fixed figures that you can easily see, which means keep your budget at absolutes. So, for those that are just learning 3CBT, this is if you want to manually add funds. This just refreshes the current data. This data does not refresh on its own. So you can see my short bot is now at a 46% profit. That's what I want. That means the price has dropped 0.46%. Edit the deal. Switch to a long bot. Sell at whatever the price is right now and cancel the deal. I really wouldn't mess with any of these too much because this is meant to run on its own as much as possible. So as you can see, right now I have $2 invested. I have a potential of $100 I can go through. But because of my raised DCA, it's going to take significantly longer to go through it. Again, hedging my bets that I'm going to not liquidate. That's the important thing about the short bot. You don't know how far up the coin is going to go. So you want to think about the highest price the coin has ever been. That's not to say it won't go past that. but historically, it's not likely to. Now with your long bot, right now you can see I'm up to 4 safety orders with a maximum of 100. Same thing with it. I can refresh it and get an up-to-date version of what it looks like. Now, you can also click on the chart and it will click on the asset and it will bring up a chart that shows you exactly where it's sitting at right now with all of the orders it is currently placed. This way, if you need to manually sell at a loss, or if you just want to take your profits while you have them, you can make those decisions with this chart. So here we are, slowly loading. Tells you the exchange, the wallet. It even gives you a nice little volume. Here it is. Right here, way up here, $47. Down here, $46. Here you see a buy. But as you can see, we drop $1 right here within about an hour. Okay, let's zoom out. Get a better look at the chart. You'll see here another drop. This is why the safety orders are so important. This helps you try to balance out these types of drops. This particular drop, you're looking at about a course of 10 minutes for what looks to be around $2. But that lowers the price for your averaging, which is what you want. You want to keep moving this price down as necessary. And that's the secret of how this spot works on both sides of it. The price drops, the long bot buys more. If the price climbs, the short bot buys more. Trying to keep pushing those prices up and down in that tug-of-war effect. So, as you work forward and you move towards your bots, you can set up more than one cryptocurrency savings account using long and shorts. For example, if you wanted to use XRP, same thing, set it up identical. Just set it up appropriate to XRP, do your research, plan your budget. In this case, each bot is going to require 101 USDT. That means my total futures wallet for 2 coins in both directions needs to be 404 USDT as a minimum to make sure you're not liquidated. Now, at any given time, you may never use more than 20 USDT. But as I said, Black Thursday changed the rules. Don't overextend your budget. Bad things will happen. So plan out your budget. Do not use this number. Take this times your base order and calculate your price deviations appropriately. Try to cover a minimum of 100% of the volume. Coins that have a high history of unusual fluctuations, like Dash, try to consider covering 200 or 300% of the volume. Coins that have a low history, like XRP, are actually better choices because they never gone above $1. So you're able to limit your resources with those kind of coins. Be sure you do your research. CoinMarketCap, TradingView, both resources provide you with a wealth of information. For example, CoinMarketCap lets you do extensive research where you can find out classic information. Like in this point, total return of investment since its inception, 9,000%. Does that mean it has a stable history? No. No asset has a stable history. You can see your highest 52-week level, and most importantly, your all-time high. Now notice here, this is pretty high. The likelihood of Dash ever seeing this again is very, very unlikely. If it reaches its 52-week high, that's a good sign, considering. So that's when you look at your numbers, pay attention and figure out which one you think is going to be best. I went with the 52-week version just because I know the history of the coin. I spent time studying it, I spent time watching it, I spent time researching it. Don't shortchange yourself on the research. Spend your time diligently researching the coin you're going to invest in. Don't just blindly buy it hoping for the best. It won't end well. Make an effort to do what you need to do to learn the details of how this coin works. That applies to every single coin that you research. For example, here is the $1,600 spike that Dash occurred. Now, if you look at the median, at no point has Dash ever reached that point in its entire history. That's important when you're making your decisions. Spend the time. Happened one time, hasn't returned since. And it's been well over 2 years since it reached this. And my guess is this is probably an introduction promotion. And that's why it reached it. Now that all the fanfare is gone, it's just another asset, and it runs just like any other asset. This holds true for every coin. So look at the numbers, do your research, plan it out. You can see here, $400 range, not very likely. And that's 8 times what Dash is currently worth. Now, if you do see Dash starting to climb, like here, you can always adjust your bots as necessary. This is not set in stone, and you just can't leave it to run forever. You do need to keep watch on it and make changes as appropriate to each situation that comes up. So, look at your coins, watch them, track them, pay attention to your budgets. If you're setting up more than one coin savings account using 2 different bots, plan out appropriately your budget. Your futures wallet will need to have the total summation of what you have. If you have 4 bots, minimum $404. And I recommend more than that, or you adjust your bots appropriately just because of constant price fluctuations. You can see here, just sitting here doing this video, the price is going up and down as much as $2. So you want to be aware of that when you're working. Now, when you make your deposits, they go here into your exchange wallet. you must transfer funds into your futures wallet. This is an absolute, or the system won't work. Plug in the amount here, confirm the deal, and usually within 5 minutes, the future wallet transfer takes place. Plan out. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't run the risk of liquidation. Make sure you understand your risks and research the coin that you're investing in. And make sure, whatever coin you're working with, make absolutely sure that this goes down to 1. Anything above 1 increases your risks exponentially. That is not good. Bitcoin, for example, the minimum is 9. As I said earlier, in order to work with Bitcoin, you need to have $1,800 as a budget. Very big difference. So make sure you plan ahead. Don't overextend your budget, and be careful and pay attention to the market. A Black Thursday crash will happen again. Not a matter of if, guaranteed it will. The ones that aren't prepared will be liquidated. The ones that are prepared, they may lose some, but for the most part, they won't lose everything. And that is something you need to be aware of when you're working. And you're planning out your finances. Don't allow yourself to be caught by surprise. Let's reload this. When this chart loads, you'll see the 1-minute chart, and you'll see the most recent price action that I've been tracking with my price channels. Market-wise, a lot of coins are at their best places to buy. There's a lot of good profits that can be made here, but you need to be diligent, be cautious, and watch the details. Okay, we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. And as you can see, some of these detailed analyses, they take time. They don't happen quickly. This one pulls data from 7 different time frames and compiles it based upon the price channel action. While it's reloading the rest of the chart. Okay, now let's try to switch down to the 1-minute time frame. Okay, here we go. Just within the recent time, literally $1 fluctuations. Now, as you can see, Dash has recovered quite a bit. This bottom channel is the lowest price variances. This is what it recently hit with Black Thursday. This is its highest price within the last 5,000 candlesticks, and this is its current price. Of course, the median, which means it's still below the mid-rate price. Most coins are still way down here in the buy channel. So this one's recovered well, but not well enough for many instances. So something to pay attention to when you're looking at your coins. Watch the rate of recovery. The higher the fluctuations between the ups and the downs, the more activity your savings account bots are going to receive. Again, you want that volatility to keep with that tug of war. You just don't want a one-sided up and a one-sided down. That will hurt you actually in the long run. So you want to keep your coins that do well, that have this constant up-down force. Don't let them do rallies. If you see a coin doing a rally, whichever way it's rallying, it might be wise just to turn that bot off. For example, if you're doing a long rally, the price is increasing, turn your short bot off. If you're doing a short rally where the price is tumbling, turn your long bot off. That way you're not raking up or accumulating large amounts that might be sold as a loss later on. Is there a perfect way of figuring out what that is? No, there isn't. So you kind of need to just pay attention to the charts, watch them, see the way things are going. If it starts getting up here into the high band, good chance prices are going to drop rapidly. If it starts getting down here into a low band or low price channel, prices could likely increase rapidly. I say likely because there are no guarantees and there's a very high risk that another Black Thursday could take prices down even lower. Be prepared. Stay focused and don't panic. Thursday saw a lot of people panicking and it left disaster everywhere. Don't panic. That is the worst thing you can do. Your losses become real losses if you panic sell. Reacting after the fact isn't going to help you. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing at all and just let the market recover on its own. Most importantly, you need to have a plan of action ready. You need to think about a recovery plan. It needs to be a part of your investing plan. And you need to have a plan that mitigates your risks before you ever invest. Until next time.